So I took office as board chair of the Federation just about a year ago. I'm now halfway through my term. A lot has gone on at Federation over the past year. One thing I can tell you is my position has involved a lot of meetings. But it's been a tremendously rewarding experience for me, and much of that is due to the many terrific people I've had the pleasure of working with. I want to thank, first of all, my officers for their dedication and hard work this past year. Greg Yowitz, Harvey Wallace, Bob Newmark, Tim Stern, Mark Zarensky, Les Sturman, and Emily Stein McDonald. I also want to thank those who over the past year have served as members of Federation's Board of Directors or Board of Trustees, and the more than 500 community volunteers who have served on various Federation committees. I want to take a moment to especially acknowledge the service on our Board of Directors the past 6 years of Michael Steinberg, who is rotating off the board. Michael, in addition to your generosity and the myriad ways you have been a leader throughout our community, your advice, counsel, leadership, and friendship have been stellar. A stellar example for all of us, so thank you. I also want to thank Andrew Rayfeld, our inspiring and dedicated president and CEO, for the highly gratifying personal and working relationship we've had this year. Andrew and I have had a true partnership, which I value greatly, and I look forward to continuing our partnership over the coming year. I also want to thank the entire professional staff of the Federation. Your dedication, hard work, and creativity constantly amaze me. And I want to give a special shout out to Don Hannon, our Chief Operating Officer. Don has gone above and beyond the call of duty time and time and time again. Please join me in thanking all the people I just mentioned. Finally, let me say a heartfelt mazel tov to our awardees here tonight. Diane Katzman, Cheryl Mayon, Aaron Schneider, and the late Eli Abelies, who left this world way too soon. Much of the past year at Federation has been devoted to beginning implementation of our new strategic plan, which the board adopted in August 2017. The plan moves the Federation from being an organization that simply raises and allocates funds towards being a true community development organization. At the heart of the plan are 4 core commitments which the Federation focuses its work on. They are to expand and strengthen an engaged, vibrant, and flourishing St. Louis Jewish community. Second, to secure the well-being and safety of individuals within the Jewish community. Third, to strengthen our connection to Israel and the Jewish people worldwide. And fourth, to develop the financial and human resources and infrastructure needed by our community. What the plan envisions is that in each of these 4 core commitments, the board will first of all establish strategic priorities. Next, we will then assess the community's needs relative to those priorities. From there, we'll create a case for giving based on plans to meet those needs. We then use that case for giving to raise funds. From there, we'll invest those funds to meet the identified needs. And finally, as a last step, we will use data to evaluate the impact of the investments we've made. I'm pleased to say we are well along in implementing the strategic plan. Thus far, the board has adopted strategic priorities for 2 of the 4 commitments, and we expect to have priorities set for the other 2 by the early weeks of 2019. So you may be thinking this social science jargon is all well and good, but what does it all mean? What have we been doing over the past year to benefit our community? Well, let me put it this way. We have a vision, and our vision is an engaged, vibrant, and flourishing St. Louis Jewish community in which individuals live with dignity, meaning, and purpose, and a sense of belonging to the Jewish people as part of a life well lived. And we work every day to try to make that vision a reality. So let me give you some examples. As a starting point, we recently entered into a collaboration with the Jewish Light to make it a free paper, greatly increase its circulation, and move towards development of a robust digital platform as a complement to the paper version of the Light. Those efforts were motivated by a recognition that a strong and widely disseminated community newspaper is a vital aspect of an engaged and thriving community. Our collaboration involved jointly developing plans and criteria within the Light's leadership and connecting the Light with two significant community donors interested in helping achieve those goals, including the Steinberg Family Foundation. Thank you again to Michael and Carol and the family. I want to thank the Light's leadership, and in particular Steve Gallant and Scott Berzon, for their vision, for their focus on the future, and their receptiveness to a collaborative approach with the Federation. Another recent undertaking has been creating the position of a community security director and hiring Scott Biondo to fill that role. In these days of rising anti-Semitism and the myriad attacks on Jews and Jewish institutions that have occurred in St. Louis, Kansas City, and around the country and the world, we must be mindful of security. Scott Biondo has been a tremendous resource for our community, and not just for the Federation and its campus, but for our synagogues, our cemeteries, and a host of other organizations and facilities throughout the community. And while we're on the subject of community security, I want to acknowledge and thank Harvey Wallace. This initiative really started under Harvey's leadership, so thank you. Another program Federation manages is the Holocaust Museum and Learning Center. It's a remarkable facility. Many of you may not know it draws 30,000 visitors a year. 20,000 of those are school groups from Missouri and Illinois, all over those two states, and another 10,000 walk-ups who come from all over the country and indeed all over the world. Thanks to the initial philanthropy of Gloria Feldman, we are about to commence an undertaking to renovate and significantly expand the Holocaust Museum and Learning Center, as well as the programs they offer, which will greatly enhance its visibility and its impact. You'll be hearing more about that in the coming days, so stay tuned. I want to acknowledge and thank Myrna Meyer, who's been chair of the Holocaust Museum Board for several years and who is stepping down, and I want to thank Fran Poger, who is taking over that leadership position. Another direct service that the Federation manages is the Center for Jewish Learning. The center sponsors the Shema Speaker Series, which brings a wide range of compelling speakers to our community, many of them addressing topics concerning Israel, for example, David McCoskey recently. And the center also sponsors an amazing array of adult education courses. I recently picked up the center's adult education fall course catalog and was blown away by the range and quality of the offerings. I urge all of you to check it out. A further direct service the Federation manages is the NORC, the Naturally Occurring Retirement Community. It supports the healthy aging of adults 60 and over in their own homes by providing opportunities for meaningful community involvement and an increased access to support services. It also has programming, for example, health and wellness, educational, cultural, workshops, and bus outings. And these are open to anyone in the 60-plus age group in the metropolitan area. In the community engagement area, we are sponsoring in collaboration with the J, the Sababa Festival, which will be held on Sunday, October 14th, on the Forsyth side of the Washington University campus. Sababa will be a celebration of many facets of being Jewish, including art, music, culture, food, and the great work being done by so many Jewish organizations. This will be a terrific opportunity to engage with a broad swath of the St. Louis Jewish community, as well as the broader community, all of whom are welcome, and I hope to see all of you there. Some other things we've been doing that I might mention briefly. We've worked with community educational institutions that are facing financial challenges to focus on ways to achieve financial stability and sustainability. And we've worked with community organizations to try to promote and sustain Jewish early childhood educational programs, which it's been increasingly recognized play an important role in promoting Jewish identity. Finally, we've explored ways in which the Federation and the Jewish community might have a positive impact on moving the broader St. Louis region forward and addressing some of the major problems that plague this region, such as racial disparities and divides, fractured government, and stagnant population growth. The impetus for us doing so is, again, our vision of a vibrant Jewish community and recognition that we cannot realize that vision unless there exists a thriving, broader St. Louis community of which we're a part. We hope to move forward with some efforts in this area in collaboration with the JCC. So we're doing a lot. And of course, all this takes resources. While, as I said a few minutes ago, the Federation does not just raise and allocate funds, that remains an integral part of what we do. Last year, we raised more than $10.1 million in unrestricted funds through our annual campaign, and we were able to do a lot of good in the Jewish community and beyond by allocating those funds to a variety of needs. Also, the Federation was instrumental in obtaining millions of dollars of additional targeted gifts for various programs and organizations in our community. We hope to do as well or better this year. I hope that hearing about Federation's pursuits will inspire all of you to want to support Federation in its work. And particularly now, when we are in the most active phase of our annual campaign, the 100 Days to Make an Impact, we hope you will be inspired to generously support Federation's work, and in doing so, help realize our vision of an engaged, vibrant, and flourishing Jewish community. Thank you.